Bye. Okay, I am live. Just gonna check a few things. I was supposed to be here at 5, but of course I'm late. All right. I'm just trying to figure this all out, this whole live thing. I think there's someone here. I don't even know if anyone is here, but I think there's someone here. So this is my Tarothon contribution, which didn't work out a few days ago because I couldn't get myself here. I was 20 minutes late, so I had 10 minutes to do my entire presentation. So I thought I'd give it another go. And we'll see how it goes. I'm going to do this I'm just going to do a shorter version of what I was going to do, just so I can give you all a taste of tarot and astrology related to the court cards. So my camera angle is different from usual because I have to use my laptop, so I'm looking up here instead of down there. And I want to just focus on some of the court cards. I don't want to go through all of them. Hey, Living on Lark, hello. Yay, thank you so much for being here, for your support. I posted a preview, but I did it really last minute, and then it was supposed to be for 5 o'clock, and I ended up, again, 26 minutes late because I just can't figure this stuff out. I gotta set it up like more regularly. If I feel like it's working out, maybe for tarot and astrology, I'll just do it live, and I'll do them in short sort of chunks, just because I thought it's more interactive and it gives you all an opportunity to ask me questions as I'm going through it, because I know this stuff is highly complex. So it's just also, for me, it's better because I feel like I'm more in my teacher element when I have people there to ask me questions. So it doesn't get as formal. It might not be as highly detailed, of course, but it's also more spontaneous. So if you have any questions for me as we go along, please put them here in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them. And now whoever's here, which I think there's only 2 people here, you guys are getting like private session for tarot and astrology. So ask me as much questions as you want, as you feel guided to. So I didn't have really a chance to get into this topic. It's a really, really fascinating and highly complex subject. So I try always to break things down and simplify them so that people who don't necessarily know much about astrology can also absorb the material, because I'm just assuming that most people who are watching this and most people who are here are tarot readers and not really astrologers. But what I want to do is sort of present you with the possibilities of how amazing of a tool astrology can be for us tarot readers, and how it can really expand our readings, enrich our readings. And the more we know about the cards and the more we know about life, really, the better readers we can become, right? So I really don't even remember what I said in my live chat because I was so nervous, because I was pretty much, I almost missed the entire time slot that I had. So thanks to Simon, who invited me to do this Tarothon. I really enjoyed the experience regardless. And I thought I'd go for it and just do another live chat, put it out there. And I think there's 4 people watching now. I don't know. So, okay. Now, let's just start with the basics. This is going to be a short video. Again, I'll make a more detailed, longer, formal version of the court cards and the zodiac later on. But I knew that if I waited, it would take a while. So I thought here it's a good little teaser for those of you who are interested in this topic. So for me, learning astrology and knowing about the signs has helped so much in understanding the court cards. Hi, Sojourn of Knowing. Oh, thank you so much for all your support. You've been amazing throughout this whole Tarothon event. And thank you for being here now as well and supporting me. Okay, you guys, just ask me any questions as we go along, okay? Because I want to make sure you understand as we're going through this. So I talked last time, in my short 5-minute presentation, I talked about how the court cards relate to the seasons, and this is what we've been talking about throughout the series, just following the metaphor of the seasons and connecting them to the signs, the planets, and the cards. By the way, if you have your cards right now, in this short time, we're going to be looking at the not the pages, but the Queen, Knight, and King of Pentacles and Swords. So if you can grab those, that'll be great. So we talked about, so the 4 seasons and the 3 modalities. Now we have 16 court cards, but the pages are not, and I'm going by the Golden Dawn associations that I've learned from. That's the system that I've learned from. The pages or daughters, they relate to the element of earth. So the 4 elements and the 3 modalities relate to the cards, with the exception of the element of earth, which is the 4 pages. So here we're only dealing with the queens, knights, and kings. So that makes the 12 personalities, which line up with the 12 zodiac signs. Is that clear? So the 12 zodiac signs are personalities. They're archetypes, right? So understanding the energies with these archetypes, it makes it so much easier to learn the court cards. So if you haven't, if you're learning about them, or if you just want to, like I said, deepen your knowledge of tarot through astrology, it's just a really great tool. So the 3 modalities, for those who don't know, are the cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So it's super easy to really understand what this means just based on the name itself. So the cardinal signs are the initiators, the ones that begin the season, the ones that give birth to the season. So for the season of spring, we have Aries, the cardinal fire. For the season of summer, we have cardinal water, Cancer. For autumn, we have cardinal earth. Sorry, I didn't write this down. My notes are somewhere in my head. So we have spring, summer, autumn, winter. Autumn is cardinal air, and earth is cardinal, Capricorn is cardinal earth. That would be the winter time. So if we think of the circle, we have those 4 cardinal points. Those are the beginnings of the seasons. And then we go into fixed modality. So if you think just the word itself, fixed, it's fixated, it's stabilizing. When the season is at its peak, when it's fully harnessed, that is the fixed modality. That's where that comes in. So the 4 signs that signify the middle of the season, when it's like really, really into the season, the heart of the season, is the fixed sign. So the fixed we have for spring, we go from Aries, cardinal fire. Then the next one is Taurus, that's fixed earth. So all the signs go yang, yin, yang, yin. So the earth is yin. And then the one after Cancer, which was for summer. Then after Cancer month, we have July, really the middle, the hottest time of the season, which is fixed fire, and that's Leo. Right, and then we go into fixed in the autumn time. We go into fixed earth. We have Virgo, and then we go in the winter fixed air, Aquarius, and that's in the middle of the season, like February, the coldest time, the coldest month, really. Like we're talking about tropical zodiac, of course, because in Western astrology, this is all based on the tropical and the northern hemisphere, right? So Aquarius is the air sign, and if we later on, when we talk about like what are all these things mean? How when we put the modalities to the elements, we get the feeling of the season, and we get the feeling of the personality that comes through. And so then after that, we have mutable signs, and the 4 mutable signs go again with each element. So the mutable air is Gemini, and the mutable signs are in charge of transition. They're all about transitioning. So bringing one season to another, it's all about flexibility, adjustment. This is live, and I'm living with a parrot, so she jumped on my computer. And then we have the mutable, the next season after Leo, mutable Earth, which is Virgo, and that's transitioning then from autumn to winter. And then we have after, in the autumn time, at the end of autumn, we go to the mutable sign that transitions to the winter. So that would be, anybody want to guess? Are you guys following me? So the metaphor of the season, we have Virgo, mutable, and then we have, okay, so that was Earth, then we have mutable air, and mutable Earth. Mutable air is Gemini, transitioning to summer, and mutable Earth, did I say mutable water? Mutable water is Pisces, going back again. So we have these signs, all of these signs relating to the modalities. Oh, hey, lavender moon. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is live, and it's weird because you guys are there, but I don't know. I can't see you. I wish I could see you. This would be great if I could see you. So, oh, thank you. It's purple. I'm wearing purple lipstick, and my parrot, Daisy, is sitting right here just staring at me. So hopefully she won't jump on the computer because I think it adjusts the sounds. But she's a very sweet parrot, you guys. I think the difference between doing live streaming and videos is actually like we have interaction, so we can chat while we do these serious topics, these fun topics. Okay, so let's just get into the cards now because I feel like looking at cards. So I thought I'd start just with the pentacles. I'm only going to do the pentacles and the swords if we get into them because I don't want to get too much into all the details. But the point is, you can find the symbolism, like actual visual representations of the signs in the cards. And when I first noticed that, I thought, you know, this is something that can't be overlooked. I got to really look at why they put these symbols in these cards and how can I understand these personalities better by looking at these symbols. Oh, I have a, oh, thank you. So what is spring mutable? Thank you. So I have this all in my head. So in the season of spring, we have Aries, right? Cardinal, fixed Taurus, and fixed Earth is Taurus. And then we have air, Gemini. Mutable air is Gemini. And Gemini goes to summer, to Cancer. It transitions. So if you think about just those three signs, well, let's include Cancer. So going from spring to summer, just think about those four elements, right? You have cardinal fire, beginning, like pushing forward to begin the spring, like the first month, spring equinox. That's really Aries energy, the initiator, leader, beginning, opening up to the full season. And then you have the fixed Earth, which air, fire, air, yang, yin. So you have fixed Earth as Taurus, and then Taurus is really about stability, the heaviness, you know, harnessing. That's the season of spring really is all about, like when you see flowers coming out, when you see colors and smells coming out. So all the smells, you know, the Taurus is all about the senses, sensual pleasures. Earth is really earthy, right? We can think of the Empress, which is Venus, ruler of Taurus. And then Taurus is the Queen of Pentacles, which we'll look at in a second. So yeah, and then after that, the air, Gemini, mutable air. You know, Gemini is known to be like really chatty, social, moving. You have the mutable air, so it's a lot of movement. And transitioning to again, the beginning, cardinal water. So three modalities, right? We go back to cardinal and we start with water. So that's giving birth to the summer, right? Okay, so now I want to ask you a question. If you think about the cardinal signs and we think of like the keywords, birthing, beginning, initiating, which of the court cards, which of the three, Queen, King, Knight, which of the three do you think relates to cardinal? So we're giving birth to a new season. Would that be Knight energy? Would that be Queen energy or King energy? If you think about it, giving birth, beginning. Anybody want to guess? So I'm going to say it. It's the queens. So the motherly queens are giving birth to the season. So all the queens relate to, thank you, Amber. Thank you, those earrings. Thanks. It's just one, my feather earring. So the queens relate to birthing the seasons, right? So all the queens in the court cards relate to cardinal signs. Yes, that's right. Thank you. That's the queens. Okay, good students. Sojourn of Knowing. I love it. Then we have, okay, so the next one, fixed. Now, which one do you think fixed would be out of King or Knight? So fixed is about harnessing, consolidating. There's an element of control there. You know, hi, I'm sure I'm very late, but I wanted to go. Thank you. Hi, Aquamarine 18. Thank you for coming by to say hi. So the fixed, what do you think? Anyone can guess? Fixed, would it be Knights or would it be Kings? It's the Kings. Yes, that's right. Because I gave you those words that really symbolize the fixed quality. And then we have the mutable quality, so movement, adjustment, flexibility, just movement. You know, if you think of knights, what do knights do? They move on their horses and go around and fight and protect. You know, that there's a sense of movement in all the knights, with the exception of, I talked about it a little bit, the Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the one that's the most, usually when we look at the images, of course, in the Rider-Waite, but also in general, the Knight of Pentacles is sort of standing, as opposed to, like, calmly standing, as opposed to the moving energy of, like, the Knight of Swords, right? I just think it's so beautiful how everything is all, like, the little aspects of the sign is embedded in the image, in such a simple image, because the symbols are not really too complicated. The imagery is not too complicated, right? So we see here, like, the Knight of Pentacles standing on ground, element of earth, and he's holding that pentacle. It's like the mutable sign of Virgo is, if we know a little bit about Virgo, we know it's about service, giving, being of service. It's the sign of health, caring about health and maintaining and doing things like competence, doing things like earthy things with the hands. So those can be seen in these ideas, can all be seen in the cards. So I'll start, just because I want to look at imagery. I'll start with the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, you're Virgo, I know. Movement of the Knights, diving forward. This totally makes sense. Oh, good. I'm glad it makes sense. Yeah. Oh, hi, Siverkil. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so look at the Queen of Pentacles, if you have it in front of you. If not, tell me first. We talked about queens being what? Cardinal. Cardinal Earth. Which sign is Cardinal Earth? The first sign of the season. Hello, Raven Morning Glory. Thank you guys for being here. This is awesome. This is my first live. You guys are all here in my first live. Yay. It's a very special one for me. I'll see if I'm going to do it again. We'll see how this goes. But so far, okay. So the Queen of Pentacles, Cardinal Earth is Capricorn, right? And let's see if we find anything about Capricorn in here. So if we look at the seat, the throne where she's sitting on, and my webcam sucks for details, but there is clearly the mountain goat head on here. And the mountain goat, of course, is a symbol of Capricorn. And then you have the stone, very solid throne. That's very Capricorn. Capricorn rules cement, concrete, stone, heaviness. That's Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. It's a very practical sign. So a lot of the keywords associated with Capricorn, we can see them in the symbolism of this card, and also in general in all the signs. As we go through, then we can look at the King of Pentacles. The kings are what? fixed. This is the fixed Earth, which is the sign of Taurus. And then let's see what we can find here. If we look at this card, well, on his throne, he has the head of the bull. The bull, of course, Taurus. That's the symbol of Taurus. And then he's sitting, and it's also here on top. These are the heads of the bull head. And then he's sitting with all, like he's wearing this gown that looks like this velvet gown, like very luscious, and has grapes on it. So think of the senses, pleasures. He's very luxurious. Like he looks very comfortable in this lavish thing that he's wearing. So it makes you think of the pleasures of the senses, which is Taurus. And I mean, he's sitting there very comfortably. He's very, like he seems like he's really pleased with how he feels in his body. The Taurus, the fixed Earth, it is a sign that also rules the physical body. So anything like physical sensations, physical taste, smells, touch, all of this is Taurus, the world of Taurus. And so if we think of Taurus in general, and if we think of like what this personality of this king could represent, so we know a little bit about the card, the fixed here, the modality is fixed Earth. So we know a little bit about the fixed being stabilizing, harnessing, that kind of the heaviness, the sense of heaviness, fixed quality. And then we have the Earth, so we know what our element of Earth represents. And then the sign, which is a sign of Taurus, earthy, pleasures, and all of that. So we can make like a good combination of all these to get a general sense of the personality of what's playing out in the card, in the court card. And you know, when I read court card descriptions in different tarot books or guidebooks, I'm always picking out like a lot of terminology from the zodiac sign it corresponds to. Now, I have found that in various tarot decks, like not in RWS, but if you look at other tarot decks, you'll find that imagery changes. So, for example, I know in what is it called? The steampunk tarot. I know that the cups, the suit of cups. So I said the fixed water would be Scorpio, right? And then cardinal water is Cancer. So I would generally, according to this system, Cancer would be the Queen of Cups, and Scorpio would be fixed water, would be the King of Cups. But I found with the symbolism of some of those decks, some different decks, like for example in steampunk, I see the Queen of Cups in that deck more as Scorpio, and the King of Cups more as Cancer, because Scorpio has that intensity, that emotional intensity, whereas Cancer has that sensitivity. So sometimes, you know, when you're looking at different decks, they may have chosen to switch around the fixed cardinal sequence. It may not really be in alignment with the Golden Dawn system, which is, to me, is totally fine. It just depends on the creator of the deck. But this system, this really like, I guess, formal, calculated way of doing it, systematic way of doing it, is definitely in alignment with RWS if we look at the general imagery. So what I love, one thing I really love is that in RWS, the Queen of Swords is she's facing us from her profile. She's not looking at us. And this is something I notice a lot of times in different decks, is that they portray the Queen of Swords like facing you, with her eyes facing you, but I prefer it sideways. I prefer the profile, because air, the element of air, is a detached element. It's more detached, right? It's not intense like water. It's not earthy and practical like earth. It's more detached, and so she's not looking at you, she's looking sideways. So you kind of get the feeling that she is detached emotionally, that she is, at least this is the feeling I get, this is the sense I get, is that her energy is not really the same, for example, as the Queen of Water, Queen of Cups. She is objective. She's more objective. She's more detached from the situation. She can look at things objectively, which is really one of the gifts of Libra. Libra can see both signs of both sides of any situation. It is right opposite Aries. So it can, as opposed to Aries, which is focused on the self, beginning the first sign, the first quarter of the circle of the zodiac, it's all about the self. And then we have Libra right opposite to it, which is about relationships, so relating. And so this queen, the meaning of Libra, relating, being objective, being able to compromise. Is she holding a scale? I think in some decks she's holding a scale, isn't she? Well, Justice is holding a scale, but Justice is also Libra. So Whispers with the Divine Feminine. Yes, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Nice to meet you guys. Some of you I just haven't seen before. So does that make sense? Sort of like a detached, objective way of looking at things. And then on her throne, there is the angel with the wings, there's the butterflies, and then there's a bird flying in the background. So you have all these like air elements, and sort of the way that queen personality is just stretching her hand out. She's there, she's communicating, but she's also able to detach herself objectively. Right. So as opposed to the Queen of Pentacles here, where she's like really using her senses. She's holding the pentacle. She's looking down. She's holding it. And then there's all this like other earthy, sensory things around in the image. Yes, whispers with Gemini feminine. Sorry, this moved quickly. I missed it. I look at her from the pillar of. Yes, that's right. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you, Marion. Thank you for being here also. Bina, Jabra, and yeah, a lot of symbolism of. I don't know anything about the Kabbalah. Really, I don't know much. I mean, I know very little, but I find it so interesting to add that element in it as well. So Whispers with Divine Feminine. So she's vocal, stands up for herself and kids. Yes. So made me think of the throat chakra, right? And that is speech. It's communication. It's also the element of air. Not always, but to me it is. So that kind of sharing and it through speech and speaking up. Cardinal also has this cardinal modality, which is in this case she's cardinal air. Cardinal modality has the feeling of airy. Hi. Clarity, yes, definitely, and especially with the sky in the background, like there's no clouds moving. It's just so clear, as opposed to the moving clouds of the Knight of Swords, right? And this is Gemini energy. This is mutable earth. Mutable air. So much movement, so much happening. Like even the night itself is just like flying through those clouds with the sword. There's a sense of movement in Gemini, and like all mutable signs, they are about movement. But when you blend mutability with air, or blend mutability with fire, which is Sagittarius, you have a lot with Sagittarius. You have a lot of movement and action in a sort of doing way, a sort of fiery way. And then here, movement with air with Gemini, you have a lot of words like being thrown out there, right? That's one way of looking at it. Yes, Gemini energy. That's right. Movement. Gemini is known to be the social sign. Never stops talking. I'm not saying all Geminis are like that. This is obviously not sun sign astrology. This is just the general archetype of Gemini. Whenever we talk in astrology, definitely when it comes to tarot, about signs, I'm never speaking of like a person with their sun in a sign, because we always look at the whole entire chart. And so, but this is like the pure raw energy of the archetype of Gemini being the one that's like chatty, moving about, socializing, going from one place to another, movement, like quick movement. So Mercury rules Gemini, quick movement. Mercury is the quick planet. And so when it comes to thinking, the element of air, if we put mutability with air, when it comes to speech, thinking, thoughts, even action, maybe depending on the situation. It's not the element of fire, so we're not focusing on action, but we're anything that moves fast, moves quickly. From 3 down to 8. I don't really understand that. Also Saturn, Mars, and Mercury from 3 down to... Oh, right, okay. Interesting. Okay, what time is it? 30 minutes. Okay, I've been here for half an hour already. So what do you guys think so far? I didn't want to go too detailed into anything. Just wanted to sort of open up the door for just a chance to look at the court cards in the lens of astrology, to see how we can blend these things together and what we can draw from it. I think there is a lot, and I think when I do a formal video, I'll have more charts and diagrams and show you more examples visually, because I like to be visual. I think that's a good way to learn. Order 3 gives us the Queen of Swords, embodies these with the numerology, you mean, Mariam? Amber would know about that too. Sojourn of knowing, I can see how that would enhance a reading for sure. Yeah, definitely. You know, I talked about this once on my channel. One of my very first readings, I didn't really know much about tarot at all, but I did know astrology, and I pulled 3 cards for I was doing it for my brother-in-law, and I pulled one card which was Justice, I believe, and I wasn't clear about what the message was that was coming through the reading, but so I thought, okay, I'm just going to rely on my astrology knowledge and put it out there. So I talked about the Justice card, and I was thinking Libra, and I brought all these aspects of Libra in there, like relating, like something going on with relationship and certain situation, being objective. I just talked sort of with the language of astrology in that case. Like, it was kind of like my other resort. Like, I resorted to astrology. I was like, I don't really know what to say now about these cards. Nothing was coming intuitively. So I just went with the Libra feeling. There's something in my intuition was saying focus on the Libra. So I talked about that Libra aspect that was coming through astrology and what spoke to me through that Justice card. And he immediately was like, yes, that's exactly what's happening in my life right now. And he went and told me about this relationship with one of his best friends and how that's working out and what's bothering him about it. And it was just so cool, because I thought, wow, good thing I knew the correspondence to, because I was just learning tarot, so I didn't know really that much. I just knew the correspondences. So I thought, good thing I went with that, because that actually really got to the depth of what was bothering him, what was going on. He didn't even tell me anything about that. So I just drew that from the card itself. So you know what I mean? Like, this is how, when we have other ways of seeing the cards and what we can see in the images, it can only guide us, and it can only expand our, not only knowledge, but it can, I think, allow our intuition to also speak, sometimes come through more quickly even. Okay, planetary. Oh, thank you. Oh, no, don't stop talking is good. It helps me. Except I have to say, I just really don't know what to say about the Sephiroth. I know Lavender. I don't know if Lavender Moon is still here, but she would be able to say a lot more than me. I mean, a lot more than me. So, unfortunately, I'm running out of time because I have to go. I was a little bit late, like 20 minutes late again. And I think I'll do this more often. And this time I'll do the preview in advance, so then I can make sure that it's gonna work out. So I just wanted to say this was a short intro to tarot and astrology and the court cards. And because my video for Tarothon didn't work out, I wanted to put this out there as soon as possible, and to have actually, like, some information in here that could be interesting. So thank you for being here, you guys. I'm gonna end it. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I have to say, because this is part of Tarothon, I have to say thank you to everyone who was so supportive during this Tarothon, everybody who was part of it. Thank you to Simon for having me. Thank you to Amber for helping me with technical issues so I could actually get through. I was super nervous, but I'm happy that I went on even for 10 minutes, because it's like better than nothing. And I'm happy that I could connect with you again here. Make sure that you ask me any questions for my future videos, because like I said, I will be making a video for this particular subject, a proper one, on my channel coming up. Thank you. Oh, you're so supportive. I love you. Mwah. Sojourn of Knowing. Thank you so much for being here. Yay. 12 people watching. Yeah, I did. Thank you, guys. I'm so glad I did this. I'll see you soon again. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Can we do how you're cross the bridge between tarot and astrology? Can we do how? Yeah. That's a really good topic. Thank you for suggesting that. That's my next one, because my last one for the series is to complete the court card. And then I want to go into, you know, reading cards together, how to use astrology sort of in the background of your mind while you're reading, and making it more in depth. So that's a good one. How to cross this gap between tarot and astrology. Yeah, because people do put them in separate categories, right? A lot of people are like, I don't know anything about astrology. It's too complex. I can't do it. I'm just going to stick to tarot, you know. But to me, it's like, it's all a language of symbols. And astrology is a study of energy. And when you have images on cards and then you have the energies working together, it just makes it so much more interesting, so just makes it rich, right? Colorful. And it just gives you this like huge palette to work with. It's like when you're painting, because I'm a painting, I think visually. So if I think of my paintings just being limited, my palette being limited to like the primary colors, yeah, I can mix and blend colors and make a lot of colors. But if I get all these cool colors that maybe I couldn't even blend, like gold and iridescence and silver, and, you know, just then I could add highlights, and then my painting could just be so different and so multi-layered, right? You know what I mean? Okay. Thank you, Whispers with Divine Feminine. Thank you so much for all your support. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It goes together. It goes together. I mean, when the creators of RWS created this deck, they had, that's what I read, they had the astrological correspondences in mind when they asked Pamela Coleman Smith to design the imagery. That's what I read. So, you know, how can we not think about astrology when it's such a huge part of the tarot system? Oh, thank you. Do you paint? Do you paint too? Whispers of Divine Feminine. Oh, I should. I'm like totally new to this. Bye, everyone. I mean, bye. See, okay, someone left. Okay, bye. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go now. Thank you, guys. Kisses. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye, everyone.